Hi, it's Mike here. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube. Hopefully you're hearing me a little bit better now. I've decided, as I said on my last YouTube, that I'll perhaps look at a few different things for a while. I've not got anything constructive to say about disability at the moment. It's safe to say that we all know it is hard to be disabled. It is more difficult for people in England at this time because disabled people do not get extra help with their heating bills and they're less able to get out and about, and life can become even more solitary. Enough of that. I want to look at a few social problems. In the UK, ever since the days of Margaret Thatcher, there's been a rather selfish attitude where people ignore those around them, don't know their neighbours, and concentrate on feathering their own nest to the exclusion of all else. It's time that the emphasis was moved away from the individual, not to totally decry any individual human rights, but to ensure that in democracies the majority will prevails, and that constructive ways are found by working together, not only to deliver better public services and better companies to compete with the emerging United Germany, the emerging economies of particularly China and India, as well as Brazil, and it's just not good enough to stand still. Emphasis must move to teamwork, where people work together and don't think what's in it for me all the time, but how we can build a better country and better companies in order to compete with the massive economic obstacles that are before us. It's only by doing that that we can lay the platform to deal with the social problems which we have. I'll mention two just now. One is teenage pregnancy, which is, I believe, a matter that can be dealt with by the very unpopular word which is seldom used by politicians because they're frightened. That word is discipline. People need to obey the law. The law needs to be enforced. Children should be directed by their parents and brought up to know that underage teenage sex is not acceptable. I know it's easier said than done, but it is a massive problem. We have the biggest rate of teenage pregnancy in Europe, if not the world, and it causes massive social upheaval as teenage girls are able to seemingly get their own flat at the drop of the hat just because they've got themselves pregnant, which demoralises a lot of other people who have an equal claim on that same flat, as an example. One disciplinary area which is going to massively affect us if it's not curtailed quickly is that of personal debt. We have people where it's not uncommon for a credit card debt to be £30,000 or the equivalent of 60,000 US dollars. But there seems to be legislation being promoted at the moment which suggests that people can get away with being made bankrupt and only having to pay back a third or less of the money that they owe. This is just a recipe for total economic disaster. We have to make sure that we find ways to work together to deal with this. Antisocial behaviour issues of all sorts, and get away from just thinking what is best for me, myself, I. We need to invigorate the communities of the past which were chat over the garden fence and would know their neighbour, as still happens in many other countries. But in Britain, in the modern world, which runs so ridiculously fast-paced, we don't know our neighbours. We need to engender a spirit of local community which will solve so many problems without even having to look for more complicated solutions. More tomorrow, that's enough for me now. Take very good care. I'm not afraid to say God bless you. I'll catch you soon. Goodbye.